Hi guys, Stev here, and I'm very excited to be showing you Next Client. If you're like me and you sell WordPress services and plugins and solutions, then Next Client will get you a lot of information on the various prospects out there. Now for starters, Next Client isn't a plugin that you install, it's actually a complete hosted service based on the Next Client server. So the reason that is because it pulls data from various third-party APIs and they need to be tied into the domain. If I released this as a plugin, you wouldn't get half these services, or I mean you could, however you'd have to buy them from the third party. So we've just made everything really simple. Simply buy the Next Client, annual or monthly subscription, and just log in and use it. So that's nice and easy. Now, the way Next Client works is similar to some of my other plugins. You can lock into a niche and a location, and in the case of Next Client, you can you can focus on various different platforms. So let's say I have a great plugin or a service for dentists. Now, I'm based in St Kilda. Now, I could extend that to Melbourne or Sydney, and of course you can do this wherever you're based in the world. And you have certainly a bunch of countries that you can prospect for clients in. So with St Kilda, I could also use a postcode or a zip code and extend the results that way. I could also put various suburbs in there. So, let's say I might go also Melbourne. And targeting Australia, after 50 results, this will go up to 100. We're putting in dentist. Now I could put dentists or dental surgery, something like that, and we'll get different results depending on what we put in the prospect field. So let's start by just getting some results. Now, Next Client, here we've got 8 results. Now what's interesting here is what I'll quickly do, we've got St Kilda Dentist, so that's automatically one close to me. That could be a great prospect. Now if I click that, just remove the Melbourne part, so I'm getting 32 results. Now it's picking up different surrounding suburbs, and it's also possibly picking up sites that aren't WordPress and sites that may not necessarily be dental. However, there might be some pages where St Kilda was mentioned. This one's obviously in Sydney, and however, that doesn't necessarily restrict it from being a possible client, because obviously we've got email and everything. Grey Street Dentist in St Kilda, that one's going to be around the corner. So, and here I can scroll down and you can see the various listings that it's pulled in. So, I've got about 4 dentists that are fairly close to me here if I wanted to, go and meet them in person. So, what sort of information do we get? All right, as you can see, there's a bit of space in each listing, and what we'll do now is we start by clicking the light bulb, and this is going to go and have a look at that particular website, the enhanceddental.com, and it's going to start pulling some information out about it. Excellent. So it didn't take very long. It can fluctuate between a few seconds and several, 10-15 seconds, all depending on the server and time that you are using it and all that sort of thing. But as you can see immediately, it's pulled in a screenshot of the website. So if I was looking at web design, I could go, oh, okay, that's not too bad, or think about that. They've got 167 links, so it's pulled in pretty much all the links on their website, which is very interesting. Now here we have, if I click this, the little plugin icon, it's going to go and tell me what plugins that they have. So automatically, if I had a plugin that would suit dentists, I can see what they've got. I can see that they use short codes. I can see they use social media buttons. Let's add an even better social media plugin, which is probably not a bad plugin to really focus on because it can be used on all sorts of businesses. Now, clicking this will take you through to the WordPress site, and we can see if it's looks like this might be the plugin that they're using, so we can get a bit of an idea about it and do a little bit of research on that. So, if I come up with a better one than Helios Solutions, then, these guys will probably be a very good candidate. Now, what we have here, this is just telling us that there's a screenshot. It's pulled in the screenshot. This is possibly a bit difficult to see, but if this was highlighted in red, this would mean that their website's broken. So if you're performing, troubleshooting and any development services, and they've got this is red, then they'd be a great candidate. Now we can see we've also got their Alexa score over here, which is really quite low, and here, this icon here is for SEO, so we could offer them some SEO services which would ultimately improve their Alexa score and improve their listings on Google. They appear to be mobile enabled, so if this was black, this would mean that they didn't have a mobile site. They look like they're doing a little bit of engagement, and just forgive my my Mac mouse, which seems to be enlarging, zooming in on the site. Anyway, let's back together. So they appear to also have an email newsletter, which is good to know that they're getting out in that. If that was black, then you could offer them an email newsletter plugin. They could use some press releases, and this kind of ties in with the SEO. And press releases are really good because they can make you a lot of money. They probably don't need a backup service or a migration service. However, if it was a really, really large site, that could be a potential service that you could offer them. And they're also, secure-wise, they appear to be pretty safe here too. And this is just simply saying that we can offer them a report. So now we get down into, we want to find out a little bit more. So let's say I have my social media plugins or something that might help the dentistry. What I'm going to try and do is get a little bit of intelligence on the actual business. So by clicking the Intel link, what this is going to do, it's going to do a couple of really interesting things. It's going to say that, okay, they're analysing 2 domains, so they do have analytics, which is good to know, and looks like basically the 2 domains are more or less the one domain, but one with the W's on it. Now the info here, this is also really fascinating because these are the other websites that are being hosted on that server. Now if these guys are using WordPress, well then there's a very good chance that a bunch of these other sites are also going to be using WordPress. So now my social media buttons plugin, I can basically visit all sorts of sites on here simply by, I could do this by copying that and typing that into there, and it would then drill down on and bring back the site. So that would be one way to do it, and I won't do that just at the moment because we'll just keep going here. And what we have now, so there's a bunch of potential WordPress sites that we can sort of follow up on. Now, one of the other advantages of NextClient is that what we want to do is we want to get warm introductions to companies. If we can get someone to introduce us, well, that's going to be a lot easier to break through the gatekeepers than having to just send a cold call or send an email and that sort of thing. So what I can see here is the registrant name is Joseph Piano. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy his name. I can see he's registered in St Kilda Road, which isn't too far. And as we go back up here, I can probably go through here, and if they've got a team, our team, so this would be a great link. So if I click on that, there we go. So it was Joseph. So now I know that he's the registrant and he's the owner. And LinkedIn, now this is going to be really cool. So we can now find out all about, well, there's 3 dentists by the look at there. They may well have more. And I'm also seeing their site. So what I'll do is I'll just head back here, and if I want to get an introduction, we can click this particular icon. So I'll enter his name there, and there we go. So he's come up on LinkedIn, and this is great because what I can now find, I'm here, he's there, I can now find that, okay, there's a mate of mine, Jonathan, who knows someone who knows Joseph. So I could now contact Jonathan and say, hey, look, I'd really like to get in touch with Joseph, who's one of your friends. Do you think you might be able to have a word to your mate and see if Joseph would be interested in catching up for a discussion? So this is a good way to sort of get around the gatekeepers and come in on basically a cold lead into a warm lead. LinkedIn is hugely powerful, and one of the best ways to find make business connections. So now that I do know that, I can more or less, what I can do is I just copied that information from there, and I can now paste that in here, and that will certainly, now I've got that available. And as you can see here, I can export this to CSV, I can export it to a PDF, I can download, actually this will save the session that we're doing here now, and I can also load a previously saved session so I can continue on. So this actually gives you quite a lot of information all in there, and it also has one other really useful solution here, which just let my mouse rediscover that it's there we go, connection lost, connection coming back on, now we're connected again. Weird thing about the Mac mouses. Anyway, if I wanted to think about giving them a gift, what I could also do here is there's a bunch of products that come with the Next Client software. And so what I could do is, if I find, here's a little, Google position checker or SEO made easy. I might say, look, Joseph, here's a really cool little book that you can basically have a look at. And this is the SEO book, so I can see. Let's see. Let me just get a little bit more room here, so I can see all the contents of this. I can just download that and say, look, Joseph, download this if you want. I can also view what's going on with this package, and these packages can be used to sell in their own right. That comes with the Next Client membership, and this one has actually got a totally ready-made sales page there. So now I can, more or less, find out that might be a good thing to either give to Joseph, download it, extract the SEO PDF, or set it up as its own product and sell it in its own right. So as you can see, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of products in various different niches there. So that is more or less how it goes, how Next Client basically works. And as you can see, it might be a little bit of certainly you're going to get a lot of information here, and I mean that was the first one. But one of the other things that you can do with Next Client is you can just click Collect All, and it will rotate through all the various all the listings, and it will pull up all that information that I've just shown you through. It's now and as it goes through and collects each listing, it should bring them into focus so you can see. And what this means is that, there we go, there's the second one, it's the one in Sydney. What I mean is you can just go and make a cup of coffee and come on back, and by the time you come on back, there'll be a bunch of sites here that you can really explore and quickly work out which are the best sites that you can sell your plugins and services to. So I'll let that keep kicking on. As you can see, that's how it goes. It's really easy to use, and you don't have to worry about the maintenance. That's all done at our end, and it is a fantastic way to just get way more WordPress clients. Okay, thanks guys. Pick it up today because it's pretty limited. We don't want too many people using it because it just clogs it down, and so people who are first in, first serve, your spots are guaranteed. Okay, thanks very much, and I'll see you on the other side.